contest set for one fall is for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle Super Bowl Sunday edition on the Big Albowski, and there's my brother from another mother, Professor Keith. Our guest tonight, Keith, is scheduled to be J.S. Hawthorne, the Thespian. And what I know most about the Thespian, if you guys are tuning in to talk to him or to see him, he is running behind. We're going to give it all we can for the first 5 minutes or so until he gets to us. And when he gets to us, he will be here live. But anyway, in the meantime, here's what I know. This guy is a star in the making. If he doesn't want whatever he wants from this business, he's going to get from this business. He has been in CCW. He has been in Outbreak, AXW. He has been in SWO. He has been in 3WA. He has been in CCW out there in Harrisburg. Last night, he was wrestling for a charity event for Adina Steel. That was orchestrated by a bunch of companies kind of got together. Higher Ground was the biggest one behind it all. Our friend Jack Molson and them, they kind of put that together for Adina Steel. I heard it was a great turnout and a great show. And he wrestled an old friend of ours, Uncle Masty from Smash Masters. So, they had a great turnout and a great night last night in Mayfield, Pennsylvania, I believe. Then
yes, it was Mayfield.
Coming up in early March, I believe Friday, March 3rd, he's wrestling in Invictus. He's wrestling PJ Savage, and he just cut a promo recently and posted it on his Facebook page. You can follow him on Facebook at JS Hawthorne. Meantime, Keith and I are going to talk amongst ourselves about current events in wrestling, WWE, and things like that. We have a comment right off the bat here. My mom saying, hi, guys. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
How are you? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you feel better, Mom. I know you're under the weather up there in Berwick. And but again, we are waiting the ride. In case you just joined us, because I just saw like 10 people show up in the screen there. If you just joined us, J.S. Hawthorne is our scheduled guest, and we are going to try to get him in as soon as he comes, and we will get him in. Meanwhile, Keith, you were mentioning pre-show about a Cody Rhodes, recent Cody Rhodes promo he just did with Paul Heyman, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how you do a work shoot correctly in this business. If you guys haven't watched it, it was from last Monday on Raw. And I mean, I'm as big an ECW fan as you'll find. You all know I'm a history nerd for the business. If I like something in the business, I'm going to know about it. And I knew Dusty had worked for ECW, obviously. I had no idea that it was a case of he needed the money that badly. I mean, it makes sense because, Dusty and Flair back in the 80s were spending the money as fast as they were making it. And to see that emotion from Cody and that emotion from Paul, and what a consummate heel Paul is, that Paul is able to do that emotional promo to get all that out. He's tearing up. Cody's tearing up. And Paul then turns it around like he does on a dime and still becomes the scumbag. And what I love what Cody did as the babyface there is not losing anything he was doing. He's like, okay, you're an asshole, but I respect what you did for my father. I respect what you did for my family. I'm not going to touch you because of that. But I am going to beat your boy. I am going to take all this anger that you just put in my heart, and I'm going to go, when we have that match, I'm going for your boy. Wrestling 101, every worker should be out there studying this kind of stuff because, I mean, yeah, not everybody's going to have this great emotional well to draw from or to have that history to draw from. But that's the point, guys. Like, we can kayfabe, but draw from a real place. Use real emotion because that absolutely matters in this day and age. You can still get people to react in a real way.
People have been asking me over the past couple days about Carnage. Keith, you and I are the voice of Carnage. Carnage is coming back.
Yes.
Our coverage of the last event, Keith and I are getting together and recording that entire event this week. So later on this week, perhaps you might get 2 episodes at once. I'm not sure, but we're going to do 3 straight episodes of Carnage this week, and they will be getting dropped by 3WA. In the meantime, also, Andy's asking me, am I ready for Saturday? Absolutely. SWO is back at Seven Valleys on Saturday, the 18th. With a full card, and my job might be on the line, Professor.
Yeah, you might get fired. I
might get fired. Absolutely, I might get fired.
What?
I just got a message from Hawthorne. Keith, he is coming.
Excellent.
Yeah. He thought it was Monday. Okay, no. So yes, in case you're tuning in for JS Hawthorne, he is coming right now. He will be with us momentarily. So don't leave. Don't anybody go anywhere.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
JS Hawthorne is coming. If you are coming on here, he thought he just sent me a message saying he thought the interview was Monday, being as today is Super Bowl Sunday. I did move it to 5 o'clock because Keith and I are normally on Sundays at 6 o'clock. But yes, JS Hawthorne is
we didn't want to compete with the unofficial national holiday.
They should have the holiday tomorrow. Right? They should have the holiday tomorrow.
They probably should, but I work in retail, so holidays are like Christmas.
Well, so do I.
Go to
hell. I worked yesterday and I worked today.
Yeah, it's
because it's my busiest.
Maybe Thanksgiving, and the rest of them go to hell. Figure it out yourself.
But yeah, he's wrestled all over Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. He wants to expand to Canada, to Europe. I want to talk to him about Alex Wright and those guys. He should get in touch with those guys. And joining us, by the way, joining us right now at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, the Thespian, JS Hawthorne. What's up, my man?
Going on, dude? Sorry, I lost track of days. The Philly Mike and Adina Steel benefit went really well last night, so I did like 8 hours of driving to Jersey and back yesterday. So sorry to run a little late. My bad.
No. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate what you were doing last night. I mean, that's what makes me proud to be even a little bit involved in the business, is people just getting together for a good cause and going out there and supporting the community.
Absolutely, man. That's what it's about. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. I'm a huge Eagles fan, so I got the Super Bowl coming up, and so I'm excited about that. But tell us about last night, because Keith and I could not make it. We tried to make it to as many local events as possible, but it was down in Mayfield, I believe, and you took on Uncle Masty.
Yep.
And so tell us about the night in general, the crowd. How did it all go for you?
Yeah, it was up at the Falcon's Nest in Mayfield. Really, really cool venue. I talked to Dennis, the owner. I just shared my appreciation for letting us use the space. The actual room we were in was, I believe it's the Tiger Karate Dojo, kind of where it's at. And then in the room next door is where they have their whole bar set up. So it's a really neat little setup they have there. And like High Ground and Molson, I think this is like their 3rd show that they've run up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were actually running a little bit late because Masty and I hit up Grimm's Toy Show in the morning, which is in Toms River, New Jersey, which is a 3-hour drive from Hazleton, where we left from, and then we had another hour. So we were actually late for our call time, which I was a little ashamed of, but that's how it goes. But the crowd was like really hot last night, and that's all you can ask for. It was basically standing room only. Everyone was excited. A lot of really great talent from the 570. Nathaniel Cunningham and Molson were really the kind of Shelby Waters. They kind of ran the show and had everything really well organized. You had Blackwell and Brian on commentary.
Yeah,
I hopped on a little bit because I always love the commentary teams like with Taz and stuff like that, where you have a wrestler in there to kind of give those other things that like, hey, just let you know this was leverage. That's how they executed that.
Right.
Just those small kind of nuanced things. And then also I made sure to sit by Philly as much as I could because Gimpy Philly Mike is he's unhinged and I love his commentary. Like when he's on commentary, my favorite commentary. When he's off commentary, masterful. It cracks me up. I'm just sitting there with a smile on my face. I'm enjoying the show, but then I'm also enjoying what he's saying. So it was just really good. And so me and Masty were on the pre-show and we're going to be tagging in 3 weeks. So when we saw he put us against each other, I was like, hey, I guess it's a fight. That's what we called it, the fight amongst friends. And yeah, you'd think that I was like, oh yeah, it'll be a little easier because it's your friends. No. Basti and I have a history, and you can ask MIT about this because he did a couple training sessions with us. We have a really bad habit of not being able to leave the ring until we end up hurting each other. It's mutual, it's even, like we're pretty even back and forth, but like when we're usually in the ring, we'll catch each other with something. Like at Grimm's, I don't know if they can show up on my face, but I've got a little bit of a shine on my cheek because we were in a little bit of the redo rumble he did, and bam, right in the face. So but we saw it as an opportunity on the pre-show to hype up the crowd because we were like, it's like, who's here for Mike? Who's here for Adina? But the crowd was with it, and it was a 3-hour show, and they stuck with it to the end. Everyone was like super into it. And they did a bunch of raffle stuff. Oh, the coolest thing. So they did the show will do like a 50-50 raffle a lot.
Right.
So they did the 50-50. I think it was like the winner got like $150 and some change. And so the lady then gave that to give back to High Ground, which was really cool. And then Molson said, we're just going to give it to Mike and Adina.
That's awesome.
Which they had raised like $750 just on the show anyway. For the two of them. So then add that on, and so it was just a really cool night. And then the
support between you guys is overwhelming. Like to see that, to be on the outside looking in, to watch how you guys look out for each other is awesome. That's how it should be. Yeah, I know it's not like that everywhere.
No, it's and that's one thing I really appreciate about like the 570 region. It's just it's we're not isolated being up in the mountains and stuff like that, but there's this just a common kind of background, I guess. Like I'm not even from the 570, I'm from the 610, so like I'm just I've
that's where I live.
Yeah, I was raised in Fleetwood, so it's like I've adopted this because I went to Bloom and then I train in Hazleton, so it's just kind of I'm surrogate, but it's your goal is to look out for each other in the ring. No matter how much you beat the crap out of each other, there's still that level of like, okay, we know that we have to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing, but I need to make sure that you can do the next thing tomorrow so you can actually get paid and keep doing this for people. So it extends beyond just being in the ring. So that's when it's the best is when we can. Someone, and the worst things that happen is we do get injured in the ring, which because it's not it is ballet, but it's not ballet. It's a full contact ballet. So accidents happen, and so we have to be there to look out for each other when those things do happen. So I was just happy to be a part of it.
You mentioned joining commentary, and Mike did too. That's one thing Keith and I miss. Keith and I are a commentary team for another organization, and we record it after the fact. We don't commentate live. So we don't have the luxury of, if we were doing it live, have a wrestler come join us at one point and get their perspective. We kind of do it on our own. That's the one thing I do miss in the commentary that we do, is to have a wrestler do that.
Yeah, because it helps so much, because I try to take a moment, because I'm play-by-play Al's color, and I try to take a moment every so often to be like, fans, this move will hurt this, hurt this, hurt this, but it's not as authentic, right? Because it's pretty obvious that I've never been in there and taken a bump. I'm being analytical and trying to be like, your understanding of physics and the human anatomy, think about driving your back into a brick wall at, say, 40 miles an hour. That's not the same as somebody who's been like, oh, I've taken that and I can tell you exactly how that feels.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. You learn things that you never thought you'd learn. Sorry. You by going through it. Yeah. And so when you see someone who applies something that, hey, I know how to do that, I know exactly where that hand is and things like that. So it adds to it. So you have your color, you have your play-by-play, then you have your wrestler perspective. So it's tough sometimes. Like you just have to. I try to just find those opportunities where I can just contribute as much as I can, because I know I have the skills to do so, whether it be in the ring, on commentary, announcing, reffing, stage crew, security. I can do all these things. Just so wherever I can help out, I try to do those things, because wrestlers always have borrowed time. So I may wrestle till 35, I may wrestle till 30. I'm 27 now. I don't know. I just want everyone to know that certain people can do certain things, and that when they can't do it in the ring anymore, hey, be there for those people. Say, hey, here's this. We know how good you are on this already. Here, now that if you have to switch focus. One guy I actually admired last night was David Stone. He was the announcer, and I've known David Stone for a couple of years now. Like I met him as a ref, and I knew he had wrestled before that. And then he went back into wrestling. And then now he's shifted, I guess, full time to doing like announcing stuff. And I think it was Zach Zander had said that he was sounding like a bit like a Dave Buffer. And I was like, I made sure I told David Stone that to his face. And he was like, oh, wow, really? I was like, and it's that sort of like, we got to build each other up in those moments of like, because even I'm going to be a little transparent today. Like we just had this really cool thing yesterday. Meanwhile, I'm in Wise today having a mini panic attack because I don't know how to eat, or I'm inside my own head. So in those moments where we can, whether we think we need it or not, just be there for each other. Just, it doesn't have to be serious. It can be, we'll make a laugh, and you don't know how much someone needs that, or that talking to of like, hey, they're starting to stray from the path, and you need to kind of realign them and get them refocused on their stuff so they can benefit themselves and others. So it's just being there.
I have a comment from a competitor from last night, and that'd be the Don Bambino. He says, last night was an amazing event. We absolutely tore the house down.
Yeah, Donnie, he's gonna be mad. He was wearing this like collared shirt, and he looked like a professional bowler, and we were calling him the Big Bambino, like the Big Lebowski. We were making all like the jokes out in the back. So no, he and who is he? He was in like one of the opening matches with I think he was the opener with Mike Skyros. I'm so mad I missed that. I was still getting out of my stuff from the pre-show and figuring my stuff out. So I can't wait to watch that one back, because I know that's going to be a really cool one to see. There was just there was so many cool people on that show last night, and it just the fans again. It was a wild. It got me by surprise. Just, it's a long show, and they were there. They were enthusiastic for the whole thing, and everyone was feeding right into it.
Not anymore, Donnie. I like the bowl.
We even gave him the gesture, like he was like he did like the bowl thing, and I was like, yeah, just it goes right.
If he's ever in a hardcore match where he does the bowling pin thing in the corner, yeah.
Yep, do the whole Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, do that.
All right, man. Let's start at the beginning with you, because your character is an actor. He's a thespian, and he loves the stage. Is that you with the volume turned up? Were you an aspiring actor? Are you still an aspiring actor?
I have my degree in theater performance from Bloomsburg University. So as much as like J.S. Hawthorne, that's the gimmick.
Right.
The Thespian, that's just what I am. You know, it's okay. And so that's a role. J.S. Hawthorne is one of the roles that I know how to play.
Mm-hmm.
In that, through me, that I can. What I really I had the discussion with Uncle Masty was my ability, and that it gives me the ability to play any role, because I know I can play any role. I don't want to limit myself, because I do drag, I do comedy, I do tragedy, I do all these things. So when someone needs something, like I said, announcing commentary, hey, you need this thing, I'm your guy.
Right.
Just that's just truth. It's not a gimmick. It's not this. It's just I can play this role because I have this background, and I know, and I have the confidence to do it. So, like right now, I don't feel I need to put on the role right now. I can slip into it whenever I feel, simply because it is simply a part of who I am. So I guess in some ways it's me turned up to 11. It gives me the ability, as one of my trainers, Billy Walker, will say, to squeeze the sponge of me as a person. Yeah, I can be pretty understanding and calm and things like that. But when I'm given the chance to get my hands on you, and it's legal, who's gonna stop me? So, yeah, it's a learning process, really. It's like as I go along, it's just finding new ways to express it. And like I've informed my actual theater career along the whole way, and every chance I've gotten in theater, like whether it be the Bloomsbury Theater Ensemble or down in Lancaster when I just did Rocky Horror, like if I can cut a promo while I have all the costumes that they're providing, oh hell yeah. I love that. It's one of my favorite things to do. So, and that's where I'll struggle sometimes, of just trying to, it's like, yeah, I would really like to cut this promo in this way, but finding the justification in myself of everyone knows you as this thing, but how do we keep that thing and throw this other little idea we have and put it in there? Like I just dropped the promo today to PJ Savage, because we're having a bit of a fight in his hometown on the 3rd of March. And I wasn't planning on cutting that promo like 2 nights ago. I was planning on doing an audition for the national tour of Les Mis, but I've had a respiratory infection for like 2 weeks, and I was hacking. It was bad. I couldn't sing. I couldn't perform that well. And so I couldn't do this audition. And literally the deadline was yesterday. And so it was after I got back. And I tried to do it, and it didn't work. And so I said, you know what, I've already got this nice little setup here for recording something. And I just said, screw it. And that little line about me is like, I wasn't happy with my audition. That was legit. That was me. That was just me saying, hey, I was doing this thing and I'm not proud of it. Speaking of pride, into the storylines of things. And, so I try to sow as much of, cause that's what the people are interested in, the stories of what real humans go through and how we try to get through it. And we're play fighting, but the key here is we're fighting. So if I can find that fight in myself, then I can convince you of the fight. And you want to see me fight this person, and you want to get behind me or want me to be beaten. Now I can understand where people would say, he's getting kind of arrogant, he's getting kind of cocky. I developed my ego. Here's another little real deep cut. Wasn't actually thinking about doing this. I developed my ego in middle school because I didn't want to live anymore. So I developed that as a defense mechanism. Now my ego is now to justify myself, not to you, but to me.
Right. Right.
and to say I have the ability to do these things, you're not going to be able to stop me. I will not let you stop me. You can either support me or get the hell out of the way. And so now I'm really trying to not rub everyone the wrong way with it, but I'm 4 years in now. I have what I would call my bachelor's degree in professional wrestling. I'm over 100 matches. I've done all these things. I want people to start, like, people respect me.
They do.
But I don't want. They're going to respect me now. Like do you see that little kind of, it's hard to describe. It's really, I'm still trying to figure it out myself, but I have to put that forward or else they're not going to see it, and they're not going to see me as a legitimate performer. Cause like a bachelor's degree in theater. Whoa, the classic. Oh, he's got his theater degree. Good luck making money. And they're right. I'm not here to make money. I'm here to perform and entertain. And along the way, money may come. Every artist goes through a broke bitch stage. I'm in that now. I'm happy to admit that. But goddamn, am I doing something that I love? And I'm not going to stop simply because it's like financially inconvenient. I live in an ambulance by choice because I knew it would be financially inconvenient to have an apartment. I was living in an apartment during COVID. It just wasn't feasible. I had no way of make money. So and this gives me the freedom to travel. I'm not tied down in one spot. I'm actually contemplating. So I was actually trying to go to, I'm really trying to go to Europe this year. If not next year. And so I had plans for the summer, which have changed. So I may be looking at possibly taking the Ambo and doing like that Detroit Buffalo through Canada loop. Just trying to look for references there now. But yeah, I was reaching out to people in Europe, but it's just, I'm at a point now where I know I'm only going to get better. And I have this foundation of people that I've networked with that see my value. Now I just need to get paid for it. Cause I'm gonna be, hey, I'm just being transparent today. I'm feeling it. If I charged people what I know I'm actually worth as a performer, I would have half, maybe a quarter of the bookings that I do.
Right.
I'm giving so much of my time because I know what it is to contribute to an ensemble. When I'm in theater and we're working together to put on this product, this show, we all have to work together on this thing. So I don't mind being that guy who's there, who's the first one there, who befriends the owners of the venue, who cleans the place out, who helps load the ring in, who does his stuff in the show, and then is there and one of the last people to leave, make sure that everything's torn down, because I know everyone wants to get out of there as soon as possible. And if I know how to do that responsibly and efficiently, I'm going to be there as a resource for everybody else. So I'm just, I have to make it clear that I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to be me. I'm going to be the best me that I can, and the best me that I can is going to be forward with you, with everyone now. And I'm saying this to you guys as much as I'm saying this to myself, because I've needed to say this to myself, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to
absolutely,
because it's a constant struggle. It really is with the world we live in today, where having this constant anxiety of like, oh, well, we're super excited for the Eagles to thing, but hey, there's balloons and
right, yeah, right,
and oh, Russia and nuclear things, and we're just trying to play fight and distract people and live our lives the best we can with this overhanging anxiety. So it's we take it day by day, and we try to create art, and that is what I want to do.
Thanks. So you answered my question, which was yeah, you were an artist before you were a wrestler, and you're 4 years in. You're 4 years in, you said. And so where did wrestling find you? Like, when did that happen for you?
So my dad, well, he was a wrestling fan when he was a lot younger. And so as a kid, I was raised on these stories of like Roddy Piper and Jimmy Snuka. But the one that really caught me was stories about this mad lad called Cactus Jack, who would do exploding barbed wire death matches and all these things, and he was missing an ear and all of it. And so then I started deep diving, and I had access to YouTube, and that was kind of like my first, like, after that I was, because I wasn't like into wrestling where all my friends were in middle school. Like they had like the little itty bitty toys at lunch, and they were like, and I was like, yeah, that's Undertaker. Yeah, that's Undertaker. I kind of recognize him. And then that's Triple H. And then I was also babysitting for this kid who was a massive wrestling fan when I started to get into wrestling, around like 2007, 2008. So I was watching TNA and SmackDown and Raw a lot, and then babysitting this kid, and we would watch wrestling, and he had hundreds of wrestling figures, and we're both playing with them and stuff. And so in high school, when everyone's all like, "Oh yeah, UFC, they're actually fighting," and blah blah, I was like, "Okay, it's neat. I like Lyoto Machida, whatever, stuff like that." Brock Lesnar was fucking really big at that time, so I could see that, and I was like, yeah, but this wrestling thing is so much cooler, the spectacle of it. And so around that time, I started like, that's kind of what I want to do. And that really, really kind of clicked with me when I watched Nacho Libre, because I love Jack Black. He is one of my favorite actors of all time. And Nacho Libre put in the thought in my head, it can't be that easy to get into wrestling. It can't, because he just walked in. They don't, and I know it's based on the real story of El Santo and stuff like that, but it's like that narrative in the movie was just like, it was so easy for him to get into wrestling. It's like, it can't be that easy. And so like I got through high school, which I'm not a school system kind of guy, and it didn't gel with me that well, but I got through it. Then I went to college, and like originally it was just like, what the hell do I go to college for? It's like, I'm already doing theater in high school. Screw it. If I'm going to go to college for anything, I'm going to do it for something that I enjoy.
Right.
Went in with a dual focus in communications and theater. Again, I'm not a school system kind of person, so I had to drop the mass comm, and then got my degree in theater. And on the last day of the last class, in the last 15 to 20 minutes of my college career, I say to a group of friends, yeah, I'm a huge wrestling fan and I really want to become a wrestler. Do you guys know who Ronnie Flores is?
No.
Ronnie Flores, she's a female wrestler. She told me that she trains in Hazleton. And I say, that's not far away. And
does she wrestle as La Fantasia?
That's her.
We do know
her.
Yep, you know Ronnie. So yeah, she's how I found Sanctuary, literally. I graduated in December and then was there in January. And so that was kind of that journey for me of like step by step. It was getting in from middle schoolish time till now, and yeah, that was my. There's probably a couple other things I'm not remembering, but that's the main plot points.
So tell us about Sanctuary and then where you went from there, because I know you've wrestled all over Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and you mentioned I
haven't actually wrestled in New York yet. The Bronx match will be my
Bronx
first.
Is your first time?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Isn't that wild?
So that's Invictus, right?
Yeah. Yep, correct. I've really enjoyed my journey with Invictus so far, but I wouldn't get there without Sanctuary, and it was the perfect place for me. It really was. It was that art of professional wrestling from two of them, like very well respected, incredible people in the business, of John Patrick Trotsky, who state-ranked amateur wrestler, then became a professional wrestler and head trainer of the Wild Samoan Training Center under off of the Wild Samoan. Then got into the movie business and trained Mickey Rourke for the Wrestler and did dozens and dozens of movies. And then bought the Sanctuary in 2014 and started a wrestling company that then transformed and became so much more than just a wrestling company. And yeah, okay, we got a leaky roof. Okay, yeah, we're not the most organized thing, but I rewatched season 9, the season that I came in on. And the truth of the matter was that the roster at the time, before I got there, they left. There was no one there. There was very few people coming and going in Sanctuary. And so that season really was perfect for me coming in because there was 6 of us: Ronnie, Jordan, Andre, Corey, and a couple other people. And just, we built a 6-episode fully arc thing. Everyone had their full story arcs. And that's the stuff in wrestling we care more about. We don't care. We care about Sami Zayn because we've watched this thing happen over this past couple years and we followed the story and these things. Cody Rhodes, we care about Cody Rhodes because we saw this stuff from he left when we went to AEW. The fans turn on him, he leaves AEW, comes in WWE, torn pack, all that stuff. It's the story. So I was able to tell that story, and by the end of season 9, honestly, I felt in my heart, it's like, hey, oh, there goes my light. Sorry, it's on a timer. I literally felt after, like in that moment, it was like, I've done it. I can die now that I've done the wrestling. I've done wrestling, and I can be proud of the thing I made and the story I told. I can die now. Cool. That was then. Right. Now it was, wow, what a great start. That's what John will preach to the thing, because the truth was, like, how we filmed it and stuff like that was I came in as a Bloomsburg University student, and that was just who I was. And so
technical difficulties, it looks like here.
Oh, you're not frozen?
I'm not, no.
Okay. I have a comment. All right, John, if you can hear us, try to go back out and go back in.
Yeah, usually a good refresh will take care of it.
I got a comment here, David Hill. Good stuff. Like to see you in SWO and 3 Legacies again. Yeah, I mean, I love that he's talking and he's just rolling, so I'm just letting him roll. So, guys, if you want me to ask him specific questions and you're popping them up and I'm not getting them in, I apologize. I want to let him roll.
Yeah,
because
selling some foods here.
Yeah, and that's what we try. We always try to do. We always try to let it roll with these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going. He's telling his truth, and I mean,
here he comes.
None of us want to get in the way of that.
He's coming back, I think.
Okay.
I mean, he's backstage, but I have no visual.
Okay.
So I don't want to bring him on and not.
And I mean, on what he said, he's right. And I mean, how many times have we said it? You know, you can do 30 million Hunan Kanranas and superplexes off the top rope. It's not about doing stupid stuff to your body and getting everybody to pop in the moment. If you have a good enough story, you could probably go in there and do like a finger poke of doom on somebody, and it's going to matter because everybody's going to be like, I followed that story up to you doing it. It looks like crap if you're just going to go do a YouTube highlight. Yeah, but it's not about YouTube highlights. It's about getting that business, selling that ticket, and getting people to come back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nico Gray is here and watching. What's up, Nico? CCW alumni, which I know that JS Hawthorne wrestles CCW sometimes too. So,
did Nico confuse himself with the Monty Python guy there? He's like, I feel like we should be saying.
I think he was going to comment on what you were saying, and then he didn't type it. He hit enter accidentally. So if you hit enter accidentally, like, oh shit, and then that's all I got. So maybe his comment will come through.
Yeah, I just like fucking with Nico a little bit, especially when he is nowhere near me when I do it. Then he can't hurt me. Okay,
again, if John, if you can hear me, just try to go back in one more time. It was internet difficulties on your end, so I don't know. but anyway, yeah, and yeah, I was just letting him roll because obviously he has a lot, and 1 hour is not going to do him justice. I can see it now. I saw that we're getting close to the 40-minute mark, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, we got it. He's back. Hello.
Wait.
All right, that was probably me. I don't have Wi-Fi, so I'm USB tethered. My bad.
You got it.
Okay.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, you were talking about Sanctuary, and then you were talking about where you went from there.
Yeah. Also with the whole training through Sanctuary of like when I came in was so John was really integral in that he had the background of the amateur wrestling, so he could have that logic in there of like what an actual wrestling is about, and then that entertainment and storytelling he really wanted to do. And then while I was training with him, I was also training under Billy Walker, who was the head trainer at Johnny Rod's school for like 15 years. And so through him, I got to meet all these guys like The Takeover, like PJ, and all these folks. And so in the background of doing the shows and stuff, I was networking and meeting with those people. But season 9 was so wonderful because while I was learning how to be a wrestler, I literally was like watching from the thing. I was not very good. And so to cover that up, as we were learning, we're doing other things like LARP. I did LARP for a while. I made the weapons and shields and all that stuff. And then we did a LARP fight in the ring. When have you seen that in wrestling? Then the next episode, we do a musical episode, which then justifies a fight after that. Then we do the drag episode, and then we turn a drag performance into a wrestling match. And then we do American Gladiators in July. And then I built the big batons, and we do Zorb Ball fight. And then we finish the season with like now that we're actually half competent in wrestling, then we actually have the match to cap off the season. Then it was just all bets off from there, and I traveled around and just started making a name for myself, just doing what I do, and it's been a blessing ever since.
So I don't know if you're aware of this, but you broke my cherry as far as a ring announcer is concerned. My first event that I ring announced was Outbreak Quarantine at the Hamburg Fieldhouse, and you were in the main event in a triple threat match with Merck. For the championship, and I forget the other guy that was with you guys.
That was Draven
Blaze. What was that?
Draven Blaze.
Draven Blaze. That was him. Sorry, Draven. And yes, and I don't. Yeah, you came down first. We were doing the big fight field announce at the where you all came out first, and you came out first, and you get in the ring, and you're like. By the way, you're waiting for all of them to come down, right? You know that, right? Like you were making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, which I thought was the coolest thing. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't even know me from Adam. You're just you realize you're waiting till they come down, right? And I'm like, yes,
I did. Yeah, it was just I think I might have gotten the note from backstage to say, hey, just double check, and that's that. Hey, we're looking out for each other, and that was like. I'm trying to think of like that was my first main event outside of Sanctuary, and for your first main event to be in the Hamburg Fieldhouse, that was really cool. Yeah. So I was just like, okay, we're this is for them, but this is also for me. Let's make sure we do this right. So yeah, I totally forgot.
And it was awesome because like you. And I said, and I didn't know what to say back to you. I was going to say thank you, obviously, but I was like, by the way, I'm announcing you first because you came out first. So I was going to announce them in the order they came out, Yeah. Then Draven came out, then Merck came out. You had your match, and so
I just remember Draven taking forever with that entrance because he did stuff with gas and he was running around.
He's running around the crowd, and yes, he really knows how to work a crowd. But so do you. I mean, good, bad, or indifferent, because. I did listen to you on ABJ's podcast. I did hear you mention that when you guys were talking about heels versus faces, that you prefer the attention. You prefer being a face. Is that true? Because to me, every time I see you, you're booked as a heel, and you seem to be more like naturally naturally to piss them off versus, seek their praise, so to speak.
Yeah, I have like a lot of like ideas in my head and like musical things that I know like I want to like it's getting people excited and being the performer and being that kind of attention is yeah, I'm a performer, that's what I do. So that's where I kind of like I like that quote baby face crowd support that we chase that pop, we chase that dragon. It's a fantastic drug straight to the vein. So it's like when I can get those, it's I want to savor them and I want to get them as much as possible. But they probably mean more since I'm a heel so much, and I rarely get to do the babyface thing. I think that's maybe why I chase it a bit. But like I relish and so indulge myself in being a heel because I can kind of pace things the way I want to pace it, and I can kind of do the things that I want to do. And I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm the one doing it. Shut up. And so, and I that my then at that my audience participation at that point is just basically just giving it to them and giving something for them to react to. And if they're like them reacting to me, positive or negative, I've already won. That doesn't mean they don't have to react.
Nope.
I'm already out there. I'm in front of them. I've won. They're paying attention to me, good, bad, or ugly. I am their attention, and I can do whatever the hell I want with it because they already bought the ticket. They're sitting in the seat. So if I want to play nice, I can play nice. If I want to play bad, I can play bad. I can play nice and then play bad. And then they're like, what? We trusted you. And I laugh in their faces because they're dumb. So it's really, it's a case-by-case basis. Like when I just did CZW and Havre de Grace, which, wow, oh my God. It was Rich Swann versus Leo Rush in the main event, which is like they've never wrestled, apparently, which I didn't know. But that crowd was hot. That was a hot crowd.
CCW is crazy. They're crazy.
It was in a theater. It was in a theater, and that's my stuff.
Right.
That's my stuff right there. But so in that thing, I didn't even expect getting a match that night, but we get put into like a showcase 6-man, and so I was like, okay, let's do some showcasing, and in that you've probably seen the clips now that I put out of like that's not very heel stuff, but it's entertaining. Meanwhile, I'm on the apron. People that know me, like, here's like my levels in my head was like, I'm on the audience side in the tag match. I could stand on the apron, wait for the tag, but I know I'm not getting in right away. Guys are gonna do their stuff. I sit on the apron, 1, so I'll be out of the way so people can see. 2, so I can face the audience and banter and give them crap because there's this kid over here who's yelling across to me a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, why are you trying to? You're not even old enough. You can't fight me. Don't get out of here. So that extra thing, so I can do a little business there. Find the people that are supportive of me, play to them. Find the people that don't like me, play to them. I can do all of it. It's I can pick and choose. So when I have those, I guarantee I'm going to be the heel. Going into the Bronx because PJ's hometown, stuff like that.
Yep.
But I don't really think I'm gonna put myself in the mind frame of just being a bad guy because it's not about being a bad person. It's about being you, and whether the people get behind you or not, that's kind of up to you to decide how you're gonna approach it after that. So I don't know. I'm gonna have fun no matter what it's gonna be. If you don't like me and I'm having fun, I'm still having fun.
All right, so I got a CCW wrestler here by the name of Nico Gray who says,
Nico,
it's not a true AT&T show without technical difficulties, right, guys? But I finally agree with JS with storytelling. Hope to cross paths with him or maybe do business together, and he kills it at CCW.
Oh man, yeah, no, I've met Nico a couple times now, and it was at the last combine that I was like, oh man, his energy, I really dig it, and he does a lot. I got a respect for him too because he does a lot of grunt work there too, which I'm a theater person, so crew work is always high in respect to my books.
Right.
I'm friends with one of the lead carpenters at WWE, Jake Vegas, who's also a Bloomsburg alumni. So like, and I've talked with him about the days he does for like, he does the WrestleMania and the Saudi Arabia load-ins. He does the 20-hour days of crew work. So it's like, I will, it's that's like, you can, it's not anyone can wrestle.
Right.
A lot of people can wrestle. It's can you wrestle and have that being able to not be so high on yourself to be able to do crew work and things like that. But no, thank you, Nico. You rock, man. I appreciate you. And
do you know a gentleman by the name of Prince Piranha?
I do. I've met Piranha a couple times.
So he's here.
Hey.
He's like, good to see you guys talking to JS.
Yeah, I last time I actually saw Piranha work, it wasn't the most recent Three Legacies show in Lancaster, but it was the one before that. And then he was Piranha was at the CZW too. He wasn't wrestling, but he was just hanging out. But yeah, I've watched him for a couple of years now too. That's and Piranha's like on the list of guys of like when I was just a fan and I saw these people, and it's like on the journey, you're like, originally you're like, I got no business knowing these people. And so it's that networking thing of like, you just end up meeting people. And that's so like, for example, like when I got to Sanctuary in the first year, I trained with and helped. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this one out there. I trained with Colby Carino, and I helped him on his promo work for stuff we were filming. I helped like stuff like he wasn't as good as he is now, and I can claim I will throw that fact down that I helped him on his journey for that. I got to meet Melina out of nowhere. Right. She came to the Sanctuary. Then I got to meet Steve Carino and then Colby's son, because then I love Ariana, his girlfriend. Are they fiancé now? Anyway, but just again, people over and over again that I just like. It's both reassuring that I'm like, I'm on the right path, and that these people like me or like my work, and I befriend them. Like, I have no business being friends with Toa Maivia, but lo and behold, I do my tour to Florida, and he's like, hey, stop by in North Carolina, and then I spend the night over there, and his daughter Autumn and his son Peter are friends and fans of mine. My little Instagram. My little Instagram Hawthorne thing, it's that little skull one. Autumn made that for me and did that work for me. And so it's just, that's one of those most like rewarding things is the people on the journey that you never thought you had business befriending or meeting in general. They become your contemporaries and your friends, and they want, and it's so reassuring when they say, hey, we want to do business with you, or we want to see more of you in the future. And it's those moments that pull you out of those dark patches, and it's really cool, and I can't thank them enough.
You had mentioned during your interview with ABJ about possibly getting back with Ace Austin. Talk about that experience that you had with him.
I met Ace the first time. I think it was, no, because that was COVID. I think it was in 2021 was the first kind of foray in with that. And we were just really, we just kind of gelled, talked and talked about, and it wasn't even just about wrestling stuff. It was just stuff in general, because I was actually rivals with his brother Skylar Kincaid, and so I was kind of, I didn't actually know they were brothers till like way later, and I was just like, oh, whoa, but
mind blown.
Yeah, no, and yeah, again, I always tell the story of like doing leg day with Ace Austin. Like, yeah, we're gonna do a light leg day, and then I can't walk for a week. So the dude's no joke, and it's one of the coolest things to see that the like the stuff he's willing to do for John and Sanctuary, because like John did so much for Ace when he was first coming up, and that Ace is so willing to pay forward when he's literally globetrotting. And then Georgia Lee's an absolute gem, sweetheart, love her to death. She's killing it just as much as Ace is. And that makes me so happy that both of them are seeing so much success. But yeah, I took away from the Ace Austin match a lot of really like it was a lot of affirming things for me of like, yeah, hey guys, I can do this. Because that was a long, in my mind, it was a long narrative put out because of the words that Ace said, that he literally said, I was looking forward to working with you. That's back the year before. And so I kept that in my mind as like, well, now I have to justify it. And I believe I did. But after the match with Ace, I was like, yeah, it was a good match, but it could have been way better. And I watched it back and I broke it down. I was like, I know I can do better. I know that could be better, and know that could be better. So it's constantly being able, and we're always our most severe critics.
Yes.
But that's an important thing to practice. And oh my God, practice everything is such, it's probably my theme so far for 2023. It was kind of for 2022 and coming into 2023 was that practicing of gratitude, thanking myself first. And it's not an ego thing. It's thank yourself, be grateful to yourself and generous to yourself, because you're the one doing it. And you kind of have to like back pilot sometimes. And you have to watch from the third perspective. It's like, hey, you're doing a good job. Thank you self. And then it's, I want to share that gratitude with everyone else who's given me the opportunity. So it's again, I can't be too grateful. Like that's the thing. I can't put it out there enough of just, I'm so thankful to everyone who is stuck with me, or even just stuck with themselves, and like they've struggled, and their openness to share their struggle has helped me be open and transparent with people about my struggles. And so it's a big cyclical, and that's a classic Billy Walker, Johnny Rod lesson. It's the way of the wheel. It's we receive knowledge and then pass that on, and that's what I'm so looking forward to in the future. Of like, yeah, okay, whatever happens with me and Ace in the future, I guarantee it's going to happen again. I'm guaranteeing that at some point in my life, I don't care. We'll put it out that Ace Austin 2 will happen. But I'm looking way more forward to the progress that the students at Sanctuary are going to have, and the stories that they're going to get to tell, because they're finally going to get to tell their kind of season 9. Hey, J.S. Hawthorne in season 9, he showed he was a musical artist. He showed he was a drag queen and all these other things. Now they're going to get the chance to take the lessons that I've taught them, because I've been a lot of their hands-on trainer and their kind of acting coach. And then John and all his ideas and lessons that aren't even wrestling based. They're just life lessons and how to carry yourself and just being yourself. And then all of Billy's lessons and all of these things come together. And as a spoke on the wheel breaks or leaves or changes and goes somewhere else to do something, someone else steps in, replaces that spoke on the wheel, and we just keep on rolling.
Dude, we only got a few minutes left.
Yeah, I want to get you to your game.
No, it's awesome, dude. You were so one of those rare, easy interviews where I basically just ask you one question and you talk forever, and I love that about you. I love how open you are. Every time Keith and I see you in the ring, man, it's inspirational. We really wish you the best in everything you do, whether it's acting, wrestling, whatever you want to do in your life, because just getting to know you this last hour, man, like we're in your corner. Like we're rooting for you because of the kind of person that you have portrayed to us and how open you were. That's amazing to me. I have two more questions. One being, is there anything that you want to promote that we didn't get a chance to promote, either events you got coming up or your Instagrams or anything like that?
Sure. Yeah, you can generally find the JS Hawthorne stuff on Instagram and Facebook just by just putting in JS Hawthorne. Thespian _ JSH72 for TikTok. As far as matches and stuff, I've got PJ Savage on the 3rd of March. That on the 5th of March, I've got me and Masty tagging against Face and Bougie in an ambulance match. I wonder what ambulance they're using.
I wonder.
And then after that, it's tough. I've got a couple of things. I'm actually going to be regional championship wrestling. I'm going to be actually wrestling for them in Lyons, which is right next to my hometown. So I'm really excited for that one. Besides that, I'm going to keep trying to poke in. Yeah. I'm gonna try and run back to Three Legacies. I did training. I did a training session with Ricardo, which was really cool. I've now met him a couple times. He knows me. I hopefully will end up working on one of those shows at some point. I'm gonna keep poking my head back into AXW and the stuff that Kevin Kelly and Bob Evans are doing around there. Orochi Pro Wrestling in New Jersey just started up. One of my friends from high school who got one of, he's also who helped get me into wrestling and see that I could do it. Tyler Ash, he's running that now with a lot of the guys that I've gotten to know in the region. I'm gonna keep trying to pop down to Grimm's Toy Show when I can. I'm going to again try and do this is just I just want to make this a successful year. And if I end up doing an acting role throughout it or at some point, then that'll be cool. But that's always the kicker of like, I love doing the acting, and a lot of the time when I'm doing acting roles, it's really just for the pay and to get that, because theater conflicts with wrestling dates. I was like, oh, we got shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like, well, wrestling happens Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. So
Right.
I really picked the real nice daisies on this one to smell the flowers and say, I messed up, but I did it right. But I'm still having to deal with that and juggle that. But yeah, I'm probably missing something pretty cool that I'm going to be doing. But Sanctuary is going to start up in March with our first Friday thing. We're having an open casting call, so we want as many. I'm wrestling PJ that night, but as many people just to come and work with us. And just see what we can do for the rest of the season. And then we're going to try and we're in the process of writing out the season now. And we've got a lot of really cool moments we're hoping to get across, like those student shows. And it's just going to be a really cool year.
Well, brother, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. I feel like we just scratched the surface in this last hour. It went so fast with you. I hope to have you on again in a year or so to follow up with you and see how you're doing. Meantime, you can follow him on all the handles that he gave you earlier. JS Hawthorne's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. You can follow him. You can find out. Go see this guy wrestle, guys. If you've not seen him wrestle before, if anything, go see him wrestle at least once. Go see him perform. He's amazing. Whether he's heel, whether he's face, it doesn't matter. You're going to enjoy yourself on any card that he's on. My last question to you, sir, is being in the field that you are in, what's your favorite movie? And if you don't have a favorite movie, you have a top 3?
Oh man. First one that came to mind was 1776, the musical. It was, I believe, filmed in 1960-ish or something like that. That was the first one that kind of just popped in my head. That's just one of my favorite musicals. One of the other favorite movies filmed around the 60s was The Great Race, which is probably the inspiration for like the Wacky Races, that cartoon. That one was like Cary Grant and Jack Lemmon, just classic comedy stuff that human cartoon is just what that was. And I don't know. It's just I'm never a guy who's like, hey, here's your favorite thing. It's just, I really like a lot of things, and I really like them with a lot of passion. Something I saw recently that I really liked was All Quiet on the Western Front. That was just a really good movie that I watched recently. But yeah, no,
But genre-wise, you'd say musicals, right? Mostly.
No. It's not a genre. Okay, I'll say like I'll naturally lean towards comedies and stuff like that. Like I really like Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny, but that's because I really like Jack Black.
I was gonna say you're gonna mention a Jack Black movie, aren't you?
But honestly, Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny, that's a musical. That's a musical.
Sort of, yeah.
So yeah, no, it varies. I'll say that I don't dislike horror, but it's not like the one I'm gonna go to.
Not your go-to.
I was just in it just premiered Valentine Bluffs was a fan-made film based on My Bloody Valentine. I did some acting and stunts for that movie. It just premiered.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of poking around right now. It's I don't know. I hope to do more acting in film and stuff like that. Like I've gone to stunt camps with Trotsky, and I really hope that door opens a bit more for me as well. Because we know what wrestlers who then go do movies do, because Trotsky helped train Dave Bautista when he just started in the Wild Samoan Training Center, and then now look what Batista's doing. So
he's got a big movie out right now, Knock at the Cabin, right? I think, right?
Yeah. Knock Avatar off.
Yeah. To check that out.
So listen, that was my lame attempt to ask you a non-wrestling question. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I could have just said Nacho Libre was my favorite movie, and it's not inaccurate. It's I could watch it a million times.
I loved your answers, man. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go off the air, but don't go anywhere, okay? Professor,
thanks.
Do you know who we have in the hot seat next Sunday?
Oh, I'm always bad at the scheduling piece.
Mm-hmm.
I always have like a rough idea, and then I'm afraid to say it because I'm like, I'm gonna be wrong, and everyone's gonna laugh.
No, you take a guess.
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Some upcomers.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the list.
Well, this one you won't know, okay? Because he's from Texas. His name is Sebastian Envy. He is a friend of Marcus Johnson's, a friend of ours.
Okay.
So Sebastian Envy will be right here in this hot seat, regular time, 6:00 p.m. on this channel, YouTube and Facebook. Hit us up for guests if you guys want to be a guest. If you're a wrestler, a referee, a manager, whatever you want to. Come on and talk to us, and we will gladly have you on here. But this hour was awesome. Professor, you got any parting gifts for Mr. Hawthorne?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your honesty and your courage, because, I mean, some of the stuff you were being open with, people might think, that's not courage. But it's like, hey, just because you're spitting it out there like it's nobody's business, there's courage in that. There's courage in admitting, like, hey, I was at a point where I didn't want to live anymore and stuff like that. And I know folks that struggle with that. Some family of mine struggles with that, And I really appreciate that. And I mean, keep grinding. You've got talent. You've got a talent. You know that. And just keep grinding. Keep doing what you're doing, because it affects people in a good way.
Thank you so much, Keith.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, man. Don't go anywhere. We'll see everybody next time, 6:00 Sunday, right here on this channel on Around the Turnbuckle. For the Professor and J.S. Hawthorne, the Thespian, I am the Big Albowski. We'll see you next time.
You think you know me?